on Zoom. There's another, I don't know who the Galaxy is. Let's see who's going to come in here. Oh, we are on record. I hit record the same time I hit the waiting room. So welcome everyone. This is October 21st, 2020. Who's on the Galaxy phone? Please show yourself or identify yourself. Hello, Galaxy A10E.
Julie.
Julie, it's
Yeah.
Susan.
It's Susan.
Linda invited.
Okay,
Susan's
welcome,
late.
Susan. Do you know how to change your name for us?
Probably
Let's
not.
see on my phone.
I can do it, Susan. I'll do it really quick for you. So we at least
Okay.
say
Sorry,
hello.
I didn't want to interrupt.
Here you go.
Okay, and welcome Amani. So for all of you who are here, and if you're watching the recording, I am going to put a password on this Zoom room. I haven't had it from the beginning, but now they're forcing me to do the waiting room. And so I'll probably just put that password in so it's easy for everybody to come in at any time. So before next week, watch for that password in the weekly email. So with that, we are going to begin. And Linda Lou, I always call her Linda Lou. I don't know what your middle name is.
Gail.
Gail?
It's Gail, but I love Linda Lou.
Okay, Linda Lou's going to lead us in an attunement today. So Linda, you're it.
We're all it. I'm just taking you in. That's why I'm not closing my eyes at this moment. Just taking everyone in. So
can we have everyone on mute, please? Thank you.
Oh, thank you. So let's take this snapshot of us and close our eyes and see us here and feel us here. And we tap into the aliveness that we are. The aliveness inside of our bodies. The aliveness that's being nourished by the field itself. Pouring in through us, around us, inside of us. This ever-present love, this vibration and magic and vitality of aliveness. And being in this moment together, we feel our hearts beat as one. Connecting, each one of us, in our own aliveness to the greater whole of life itself. We are here together. Sensing the light that is coming in from all directions. More light, more life, more love, more joy. Let's feel our magical presence. And open to what might come in the moments ahead as this grand intelligence guides us, guides our thoughts, guides our feelings, urges us to speak, to sing, to write, to share, to dance, acknowledging the fire inside of us and acknowledging the waters inside of us and acknowledging the air inside of us. From our bones and the soil to the soul of all life, we sit in gratitude and love together as we open this field. As it mentors us and we mentor each other. Knowing that we are alive and purposefully living for the good of all beings, for the good of the whole. And so it is.
And so it is. Welcome to all of you who snuck in during that attunement. It was gorgeous. Welcome to the aliveness that's here and the celebration that's here, that we've come together in this space. And it's gorgeous to see you all. It's nice to see you all. We're going to talk about that aliveness today. I want to share a quote with you, but we're also going to take this quote into our breakouts in a few minutes. But I do want to share it right now. That Linda was referring to that aliveness, and I've been doing a series on our moment of choice. And Dwayne Elgin, in his segment of the book, wrote this quote, and it's been sticking with me. It's alive, and it's right here. So I want to share it for a couple reasons. And to move us into this conversation, he wrote, "Our life exists within a larger aliveness. A living presence permeates the world and naturally includes consciousness." And we've been talking about that aliveness, that living presence, and there's a lot that's moving in the field, and a lot is moving in the world, on our planet. There's so much happening. And so why are we here? Why are we gathering here today? Why are we here? And when I asked myself that question today, I heard to be that grounding force of love and coherence. To be a grounding force of love and coherence. So yesterday, I recorded a show with Greg Braden and Jude Caravan, and we talked about coherence. We talked about the new science. We talked about the science of love. And Greg said, you can, in every moment you are, period. This is it. You are it. This is it. In every moment, you have the opportunity to contribute to chaos or contribute to coherence, because that's the nature of consciousness. You can go out and be a part of chaos that's not cohering, or you could come into more of a coherence. Now, that's a very broad statement. Don't blame me and don't blame Greg, because I'm giving you this much of a conversation. It's gorgeous, and it will be on today. If you want to listen to it, well, probably you'll miss the first 15 minutes of it, but watch for the link. It was a powerful conversation. And good of the whole exists to ground the force of love and coherence. And how do we do that? And here we are. We be that. We come together in community to create greater coherence. And I just want to preface this piece, welcome Jerry, by saying that we've held this good of the whole for 8 years, for a very, very, very long time, and held it as an organism, a living, growing, alive organism, and resisted putting this new consciousness into an old form. We always used to say, not wanting to put the new wine in the old skins. But there never were the new skins to put it in. And I'll let others jump in and help me out here in a second. But as we looked at forms and structures, we never really found a good management system, a good organizational system. There was just, some of you are shaking your head, you know this one. It's like the old forms don't work. They were built in a consciousness of separation. They were built in the belief of separation, the old incomplete science that Jude and Greg talk about. And so how do we move forward as an organism? How do we create a super organism on the planet that can ground the force of love and coherence? And we've held this in a tender spot for years and years and years. And finally, about a year and a half ago, we said, okay, we'll be a nonprofit. So at least we can create structure so we can move forward and be identified on the planet so people can make contributions and see it. And yet it still doesn't fit. And so to be a responsive super organism, how do we organize? How do we lead? How do we create new forms and structures? How do we assist others on the planet who are going through the very same thing? Every system and structure is breaking down. Governance, healthcare, education, finance. We could go on and on and on. They're breaking down because they're built in that old system and that consciousness of separation. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a gift because everything is reemerging in a consciousness of unitive wholeness. And yet here we are. How do we assist in creating greater unity on the planet? How do we assist in being that force of love and coherence on the planet? How do we not contribute to the chaos and the noise? Even good noise, there's a lot of good noise out there. How do we create greater coherence? And as I'm going to call us the coherence circle. It's like, how do you identify leadership that with language that's new, that fits what we're doing? But one of the things that we know is that attuning to that innate, inherent unity, that inherent wholeness of who we be is an important piece. And creating a field of resonance and greater coherence is an important piece. So from that, we're going to create greater. Sorry, I'm so distracted by the waiting room. I apologize. I don't like this. So watch for next week. We won't be doing this waiting room thing. I should have had a co-host helping click with the waiting room. So welcome, Kate, and welcome, Julie. So as we muse into this space, before we go into some breakouts, we were discussing yesterday and Monday and yesterday of how do we expand this field of resonance so everyone really embodies it? How do we create greater coherence so that we're all a part of this one planetary body, creating, practicing, grounding the force of love and coherence on the planet? And we're going to move into a special day, November 11th, for the community. And I'm not going to say a lot about it. I'm going to invite Linda and John and Shelley to jump in here. Glenn isn't with us today. And we'll just spend a few minutes in an invitation of what's emerging and what we want to invite you in. So Linda, John, Shelley, anyone, unmute yourself and share from this place of grounding the force of love and coherence on the planet.
Good morning, everyone. I have a confession to make. After the Japamala last night, I was too excited, so I kind of gave a little sneak preview for everyone to be prepared with their magical presence for a day that's coming up that is all inclusive and so full of love that we will bond in even stronger ways than we are right now, if that's possible. Because it's your day. It's not it's not a dog and pony show. It's a day for us to hold each other as literally as we can, even though we're not in the physical room together. But a day of coherence, a day that will give each one of us the space to be who we are, the space to say what we must say, the space to amplify your love or whatever is happening for you. And we're focusing on what is working, what's positive, what is happening that is working, while at the same time acknowledging the bumps or the glitches or the whatever might be for you, so that we can all hold each other and raise us up beyond those little bumps and glitches. That's how I am interpreting what's coming up on November 11th, on 11/11. So now more people know about it. Put it on your calendar. I'm complete for now.
Hi, this is John in Boulder. I had the privilege of being part of looking at this whole thing, 11/11. Very good timing, I think. So I look around this page right here, and we have 21 individuals. If I look around my community, there are hundreds of individuals. If I look at the globe, there are, what is there now, 7 billion individuals? So each one of us carry a story. And many, 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 many of us stay stuck in that story. And there's pain, there's ecstasy, there's chaos, there's order that all of us at one moment or another experience. Here's the bottom line for me, for good of the whole, is that we get to be accurate, because we are reflections as individuals of all 7 billion individuals. We bring that here with one difference that many other groups also have, but many, 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 many groups do not have. And that is, we can be the reflections of the chaos that is absolutely real. Linda just called it glitches. I'll call it terror, hate, confusion, all the things that we offered people to bring into the Resonance Lounge when we started the connection field in the beginning of the COVID. So on 11/11, we get to do a magical thing, and that is, please bring what I'm going to bring my individual gripes, complaints, fears, unfairness, and bring it into the circle. And the individualism of that will dissolve if we as a whole unify in the resonant field, which is the gift that I came into Good of the Whole for and still hold deep in my heart. There's been some discord, there's been some questioning, which is individual, but it's really a reflection of our larger direct experience on our planet right now. Again, we get to hold the whole, knowing that we are representatives and reflections of all of it. The good stuff, the bad stuff, all of it. The one wonderful piece about us together and all of us individuals on this page is we can come into unity when we rest and have the direct experience of the unifying resonant field. And so on 11/11, we started out this morning with a little celebration. Well, sometimes in order to get the celebration, we also have to be the reflections of the pain, the anger, the discord, and everything else. It's all part of the bigger game. And yet, in the resonant field, there is full order brought to us by love and wisdom and direct information from a larger source. So on 11/11, we get to air those pieces that we are reflecting from the larger community of 7 billion individuals, and it's coming through us. What a gift. And we get to dissolve that and be held and supported and listened to, as well as offering with our own specific and unique gifts and talents, the greater love of that resonant field. And so as we continue to form this, just please know that on 11/11, we're going to have a forum to hold this whole in the resonant field with each other, and every individual will have a direct experience of that. And with that, I'm complete.
I'll pop in after all that magical talk. And Julie asked a question, which was, how do we create and expand this field of resonance? And how do we create greater coherence as a community? And John talked about the direct experience. And so what I feel what we're creating is a day-long learning field where we get to come into communion with each other and learn together, and to come deeper into some of the things that are being spoken about here: distributive leadership and resonance, and how to build coherence, and really focusing on what really matters to our hearts, and how to make that applicable. Just see it as being a community coherence day, where everything dissolves because that field of love is instead of us being individuals, is mentoring us as a community. And we're going to listen together. And there are amazing tools that exist within this particular community, and to utilize those tools and be willing to really evolve our collective, what I'm feeling is like our collective evolutionary purpose, why we love to come together, and to really have more than an hour together, or an hour and a half, or these broken up hour and a halves in the connection field, to have a mini retreat together where we can really evolve our understandings, but mainly our direct experience. Because to me, what Julie's been talking about, the old skin, we always held that, that there's, when we're involved with that evolutionary purpose, being informed by the field itself and becoming influencers, then something, when I hear Linda say magical, or, magic of the day, like today, I'll just finish with this. This was amazing. I was sitting here before the call, and for at least 30 minutes, I watched the formation of this rainbow that went from one end of this picture window to the other. And, that's what nature does. It reveals itself to us. So I feel like this day is about allowing that field of consciousness which is us that we're speaking about, to reveal to us what it wants from us as a community. And that changes everything. So that's what I'm excited about. And this Coherence Day where we get to build our toolbox and really come into, to me, like deeper respect and love of the beauty of who we are as individuals and as a community. So with that, I'm complete. Thanks.
Can I add one more? Oh, I'm sorry, Naheem.
Interesting. I sat here 2 minutes before the call, and there was a deep feeling within me. It was loud. It's like, what do you want from me? And the you was those who are in the screen, really this community. And I even questioned it. Do I want something from them? Or what do you want from me? And Shell ended the conversation and I was present with that. It came to the surface again, and then Linda said, more life, love, and joy. And then we're talking about this organism, this alive organism. And the patterns in nature that is unfolding in every moment, the rainbow from here to there, but is happening in every moment. And I asked the question, why not now? Why 11/11? What has stopped us? This is the cells in the organism doesn't say, okay, let's wait for 11/11. And then we're going to talk to each other to say what is happening, what is working, what is not working. And this has been the deepest yearning in my heart. When we would really emerge, because this is what I was present to in the last Wednesday when we went to the breakout group. Look, my heart is coming out of my ears right now. It's, yes, when I address in and out, and I remember, Julie, you went at the out, and you talk about the out, but the out, to me, it is these people who are here. It is not the 7 billion people or 1 million or 2 million people that we're going to reach. The out for me, it is who are here. What do you want from me? What have you called me in your life? And I ask the same question of myself. And I've been hearing all these complaints. John, I'm not waiting for it until 11/11. Inside of my being, it's like, I want that. Let's get there. Let's emerge. Let's play together. Something that has not happened yet. I just want to say something and finish this conversation. I don't know, going to the breakout. Something that I have experienced, that I've been experiencing inside of me and with other individuals, one by one, or when the group has been ready for that, which I do not experience it here. Once in a while, with certain individuals, yes, that happens. I don't know if you guys have looked at the work of Patricia Alber, The Mutual Awakening. There is a place that not from the strategy and the planning, and this is the old paradigm again, that there is a place that is the source within and without. And there is no self. There is no me and you in it. There is a place that we call it the resonance field. I don't hear, everybody's like, yeah, follow your own heart and come from there and let's just pour it out. And why we haven't been doing it so far. So I don't know what, but thank you for the space. I just couldn't hold it back. Oh, thank you. Phew. There would be an explosion of love, life, joy in coming together. Us, we would ground the life force, and we become collectively that living presence. I guess this is the time for it. You are the light shining my way. Thank you.
May I just add this? Thank you, Nahid. Well, that makes sense. Why are we waiting? That makes a lot of sense. We have a new mentoring steward here. It's Miranda. Hello, Miranda, and welcome to being a mentoring steward of Good of the Whole. And the day that this coherence day is that we are here as mentoring stewards, and we're opening it up to all, to the whole, to everyone who has visited Good of the Whole in any time. So that it's not exclusively mentoring stewards, but we have an opportunity to mentor anyone else who's coming in, to hold this and ground this force of love in coherence. So I just wanted to add that. That's the feeling, is that it's not exclusively our room. We're here because we've chosen to be here. Why are we here? Because we want this, we love this, we know this is the path of sanity in the world. And it is sustainable if we practice it. And so I just wanted everyone to know that it's not exclusive, it's inclusive. And anyone who has been to the connection field in any capacity for anything or has come to Good of the Whole is invited to this day of coherence, or whatever you want to call it. I just felt I had to say that. Thank you.
And I just want to welcome David Green, because he also is a new mentoring steward for Good of the Whole. So welcome, David, coming to play with us as well.
Thank you.
Yes, and Nahid, thank you for always being the love and the heart. It was a beautiful introduction to our breakout. I feel like I don't want to spend any more time. And John had said, made reference to the story of separation. And this is who we be, is the story of the living presence, the story of resonance and coherence, the story of love and the heart, the story of unity, of wholeness, who we be. So saying that, at the beginning of the hour, I shared this quote from Dwayne Elgin, which was, "Our life exists within a larger aliveness. A living presence permeates the world and naturally includes consciousness. We are that living presence. We are that larger aliveness. There is no separation. So we're going to break out into smaller groups, and with the question of how am I living in relationship with a larger aliveness? How am I living in relationship with the larger aliveness, the living presence? I am that. And I just kind of chuckled because I came into my office this morning and there's a vacuum sitting right by my door. And I brought the vacuum in several days ago. And I haven't vacuumed yet. It's just sitting there. And what I was reminded is that all of this awareness is here all the time. We just have to tap into that aliveness and be it. So my office isn't going to vacuum myself, but the vacuum's right here. All I have to do is reach over there and plug that in and work on that. So we are that natural aliveness. I'm going to break us into groups. We're going to spend about 20 minutes and then come back to the big group. No need to have a scribe. When we come back, we're just going to harvest whatever's emergent in the greater group. Anyone can jump in. We invite that greater presence, that natural aliveness to just come forward in that. So with that, I'm breaking us into 5 rooms. And I know a couple need to leave early. It's okay. We'll have enough in our rooms. So here we go.
Uh-oh. Can you resend that, Julie? Because I just X'd it out.
Is this room 3?
I'm sitting here talking to myself because I literally kicked everybody out of their rooms. They'll all be coming back in a minute, and then I
Oh, no. That was a little road trip.
Oh, we need to laugh today. Okay, everybody's coming back in.
I don't want to be separated.
That's cute.
Evidently, there is no separation. The story of separation is not no longer.
Is everyone coming back in or what?
Everybody will be coming back in because I accidentally, someone locked themselves out of their room and I hit it and we literally,
That's a message from the field.
Oh, that was funny. Oh my
There
God.
we go.
That was funny.
There is no separation.
Okay,
Birds will break out.
Oh, you're all back. Okay, I love that. Thank you. Someone locked themselves out of their room, and so I clicked on to try to get that person back in their room, and I was on mute the whole time, and I brought us all back in, and I was laughing so hard, but I was on mute, so that person didn't even know what I did. So welcome back. So we will try one more time, you guys. I apologize. See, I shouldn't be doing the control panel here. So here we go. We're gonna. Oh, you know what? Open all rooms. We're still in 5 rooms. So here we go. There is no story of separation, you guys. Okay, here we go. Now you can click on your room and join.
Try again.
Try again. And then I get to decide where I'm going. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
instead of, oh my gosh, Julie, that was great. I mean, just that may be the best thing that's ever happened. I don't know. So I was just referring to your question. And I'm learning more and more when I am not listening to the field, and I'm learning a lot more of when I am. And, you know, that whole thing of, I talk about a lot about responsibility. And when I break that down, it is like, I have the ability to respond in right action when I am being immersed in the resonant field. And so what is it then that my heart guides me to be and do for the good of the whole when I allow my individuality that keeps me out of the whole to dissolve and listen to. And the other piece I just want to add in real quickly is I'm really learning that listening, it is also an old paradigm manifestation. The way that I've always listened, I'm listening for cues that resemble what I already know, that validate and solidify a belief system. And so now, as I really open to the field, I become the energy flow itself, and I'm listening to the tonal quality of the universe through the energy field, not with my ears, not what I see with my eyes based on my old paradigm, but the information then coming through is cohesive, it is heartful, it is pure. And so what am I doing? I am attempting to the best of my ability to become a more clear receptor, integrator, and distributor of that energetic field without definition.
And I was just grabbing onto what you were saying. I knew you have to leave early. Please continue.
Oh, it's sort of basically just what John said. It's like follow the heart and allow it to lead where you're going. It is very much in line with the flow of energy, and it will tell you how to organize whatever you need to do, including an organization. I mean, I stepped into it in 1995, and I've run a business with it ever since. I walked away from the world, got a business, and I've been running a business from that space for whatever, subtract the difference between the 2 years. And it's like every customer I look at, every time I get a sale, do I refund a couple of dollars because they're paying a little much to postage, or do I keep it? Do I try and tell a customer, don't buy this because it ain't going to serve you, which you've told me it doesn't work? To me, every moment. And as far as an organization, I did tremendous amount of organizational development. And when I had my awareness, there was orchestrating the organization. And everybody comes. It's like we're cells in an organism, and the cells don't argue. When does the ear decide to become an ear cell versus a brain cell? It's like they just be who they are. And to me, the manager looks at everybody who's working in the organization and say, what part do they play? Where do they fit? And you create the organization around the individual members that are there. It's like when we came to this breakout room, I felt very much at home because I've talked to all of you personally, and I've talked to you all collectively. And it's like, if we were going to go on a picnic, I would look at Kate and say, hey, Kate, where's Kate's strength? Where's her weakness? Well, Kate's not a very good driver, so I think I'll ask John to drive us rather than Kate, because Kate tends to not pay attention to the road. But I may ask Kate to go out in your garden and bring the most luscious vegetables you have. I mean, to me, if you're going to talk organization, the person who is led to help orchestrate it has to look and say, who do I have and where do these people expand in their beauty in performing the role versus doing a task? And I don't mean to pontificate, I apologize. But what you're talking about is very dear to my heart, because that's all I pay attention to. You know, how do I serve that person in front of me? Even if they're working for me, how do I make their life enjoyable in the work they're given? So.
Reminds me of an exercise that we did with Barbara Marks Hubbard years and years ago. It wasn't with Barbara, but the mentors gathered and we were in one of our retreats. And I remember we asked the question or invited everyone to respond to the statement, I am the one who. And we all just wrote from our heart, I'm the one who. And we looked at ourselves as part of the one planetary body, as part of the one living system, as part of that field. And as we're working together, it's like, who am I? This would be a beautiful exercise for us, John, as a collective community, to say, I'm the one who, so we could start seeing each other in that larger capacity of who we be. Yes, I want Kate's vegetables and I want her flowers and I want her seeds, but I need her to come plant them and teach me and water, because I can't grow vegetables. I could grow amazing plants that are flowers. I have the best pots and flowers in my garden, but I am so afraid of bugs and pests and chemicals, and I cannot grow in my garden. They get taken over with bugs because I don't know what I'm doing. And I can't grow vegetables. So anyway, I just wanted to jump that in. Thank you, Ken. I love that. And I am the one who, I have a poem about that. I should dig that back out. I'm the one who, and thanks. I'm complete. Not answering the question, but inspired by you. Yeah.
I have to leave. I apologize. I got to open the door to my store. So take care. Thank you.
Kenny, are you doing anything? Oh, he's gone. Does he still do his hour beyond the roomy field? Ken used to do like an improv hour. Does that still happen?
Ken is doing an improv hour?
Well, he was for a while. It seemed like Monday or two, whatever. It's all good.
Okay.
He was doing another hour, yeah, for a while. So I liked it. I can't remember what hour. And so since I'm talking, I guess, what question, you know, I just feel like there's so many things pressing in the world that I hope we can love it all into being, but I feel like I am a worker bee, and that we need to be worker bees to solve, like, you know, I love Linda, and I'm just amazed that, you know, she does that japa mala every night and just looks so beautiful. But I'll always remember her saying, the little bug man comes along and kills her weeds, you know, while she's doing all this and preparing it. I'm like, we got to get that bug man out of the neighborhood. That's part of the thing too. Can I love the bug man away? This is kind of my question lately. Can I love those phosphates out of my water? And that's all I'm asking. You know, I just want to be of service too. And what is the best way to be of service? So here I thought, oh, I'm going to do the storytelling hour. I've got all these grandmothers that say, I want to disseminate what I know to the young. So I pull the platform. I tell them, you know, got the hour. And Nahata is the only one who ever came. And then Noreen was supposed to be my co-host, singing grandmother from Alaska. You know, she's too busy just living life. People were dying and she needed to pray or whatever. It wasn't working out that Noreen is. I said, Noreen, you play hooky more than you're there. So when I ran into Ia and David in the field, they're obvious storytellers. I said, hey, y'all, will you help me co-host? Because, you know, Noreen, my singing grandmother isn't there. And I'm really just holding the space because I think we can always tell never-ending stories. But anyway, it's Ia and David and Martin are the only people that really ever come. And so I had to say, you know, the school's getting cold. And last week I had this puppeteer, an Ojibwe grandmother that was the best in all the world. And I couldn't, you know, so I'm telling the world I got this grandmother coming, and I only got 4 people. So that was kind of the defining factor that the school storytelling hour was not valuable. And with that, I thank you for listening. I'll pass the talking.
Good morning. It's been a while since I've been in this space. Same thing. There was a time when my life was fully spacious. And now I've picked back up a lot of the things that are mine to do in my world right here. I like the process. I did a facilitation process. And then I got a scholarship to go to a training for it. And then I didn't follow through on it, but I remember the woman who did the process gave me the scholarship because she said I would be a good facilitator. I think if I remember correctly, I mean, I remember the process, and the process is amazing, but I think the first thing in it was taking an organism, an organization, all these people, and distilling out, like, what is the key question that wants to be asked and answered? Because that's the most important thing, is like, what is the question where, you know, that we really need to answer for everything else. And I also think in the I am the one who, there's also that part of asking each person, like, what question do they have? You know, in terms of really distilling. When Nahid said, like, who am I and why am I here? I almost heard that, like, the cry of the whole. It's like we've rubbed a genie lamp, and out of the genie lamp came all of us. And now that we're here, it's a different question than the whatever started that. And that is part of the I am the one who, like, who are we? Like, we arrived, and there is a process that from this place that's different than the place that drew us together, perhaps. You know, those are the, because I've been having questions like, right, what's the way that this has been organized, because it has been organized. It's like, I'm always still like, what's the relationship between the connection field and the good of the whole? How do they interface? What is the connection between the mentoring stewards and the connection field? You know, so I have some of those because I am a structural person, and I see each of us are building blocks, and each of us has information. Like, this process was really about pulling out. I loved it because it used a big sheet with adhesive on it, sticky, like, adhesive, and everybody wrote down things on a piece of paper, and they got stuck up there. And then it was like everything got moved around in a way that everyone could see. And then, you know, it all came into, like, oh, clarified everything. And so it's as if inside of our hearts, each of us have a vital piece of information. And then there's that part of, you know, I talk with Andrea a lot because she's my friend, and I was just like seeing the field, and I'm like, there's this toroidal field that we talk about that has a momentum and it's built. And I'm like, right, where's that axle, the axis in the center that really is like taking all of those things and the blocks and stacking them and building them in such a way that there is a central piece that runs from heaven to earth and is grounded, that field is spinning around. What's that? That's my question. For this moment, I'm complete.
So talking to a few people that have called me directly with concerns and legitimate bona fide questions around exactly what you were saying, Jerry. How does the connection field connect with good of the whole? How does a mentoring steward connect with the connection field, the good of the whole? All of that. And on the tail of that, the individual is saying, I don't feel recognized, I don't feel heard, I don't feel as though I'm being listened to. So again, I opened my heart and said, well, guess what? Look at all the chaos in the world. It's the exact same thing. People are marching in the streets saying, hear me, you're not listening. You don't know who I am. So that brings me to the place of exactly what everyone else has been saying. And I feel like 1111 is a start for that, even though I totally respect where she's saying now, don't wait. And yet, whatever. But the thing is that, and I've talked to some of the people that came to me directly, and I said, again, what everybody's saying, what is it? Who are you that you want to bring through that is not being heard? Because my sense is but me as well, have not really said, okay, this is my cell in the organization. This is what the resonant field is coming through me, that I am the vegetable grower, I am the driver, I am whatever, so that the whole starts to become more cohesive. And just that whole thing, like you were saying, Jerry, about putting everything up on the board or whatever. So, it's moving into a new evolutionary cohesion that we're not used to. And the systems for that, as Julie, you were saying, we've attempted to use the old skin to try to bring that all through from the bottom of our hearts. But we have the opportunity to open to the new holding container for all of those cells to come into cohesion. And I feel like that is our task and goal and reverence with each other to do that.
And I just wanted to add that the linchpin or the anchor point between the toroidal field, I guess we're hoping that it's a sign network, correct? I don't know. That we're all attached to this one spinning rod. And then I kind of wondered, what does a sign network, I know that Synergized Impact Network Exchange. So as being members of sign, what is it of ours that is going out on this sine wave? And is that the anchor pin? I don't know. Just want to throw that in.
We need to wrap in just a minute, and there's so much to say. There's so much ripe fruit right here. And I think that the very thing that you bring in, Kate, just brings in the complexity of so much happening on the planet, and how networks of networks are networking and members and so even like when you bring in sign, then there's the conversation, whatever it's called, the conversation, the CC. There's so much already happening. And then the piece that's so important is it's not that centrifugal thing as if it's a form, because it's literally the field reorganizing us, the impulse of evolution moving us into coherence, and we listen. So how do we explain that in the story of separation, where people want the leader and I'm going to follow, and the form and the structure, and where's the buck stop, and who's going to show us how, and where do we start and stop. And even to say, Kate, your offering did matter. It was valuable, and it still is valuable. And we just don't have the form and structure of bringing new people in to enjoy all this that's being created right now. So what you experienced wasn't just that yours wasn't valuable. It's that this whole connection field is moving and so much is happening. But it's really that the field and that impulse of evolution is cohering us. On the day of the caravan across the US, the Caravan of Unity, I shared an interview from the Tri-Faith Initiative. And when I was listening to them, I'm just reminded of this moment of listening to them when we were trying to come up with the co-words, because they're co-habitating, co-sharing a parking lot, co-sharing a campus, co-doing. And I asked them, what else? What are those co-words? And when I was listening to them, I heard cohering, but I heard it in, we're cohering one another. We're cohering. John's voice of saying hearing in a different way. The tonality, you said the tonal quality of the universe is what you're cohering to now. It's like you're hearing. We're cohering, and we're cohering. Like Nahid said, right here, right now, we're cohering now. We're here. So those pieces are important, and we can't look to the old forms and structures to say, show us. It's emergent and it's coming forward. And I'm excited about the guiding principles that are emerging, and the agreements and the practices that are coming in, and the how do we attune to this larger aliveness? We're doing it, we're being it, and it's cohering. So I got to press that button. Jerry, jump in.
And I just want one last thing I want to say is, imagine that form in the center, it's an antenna. I mean, I get everything about the field and all of that. And it's like I said, this is what emerges to me when I tune in is it's spinning in space. That's still the hollow bone. It's still something that takes everybody to build something that anyone can be in any place in. I just feel like that is perhaps part of the resistance to structure, maybe part of it, and that the structure itself is, having a structure like that, it's still in the guiding principle. So.
And one thing on top of that is what I hear over and over is the old paradigm of leader follower.
Right. We would build that. It would be a we building that part that we don't, that everything feeds. It's essential. Everything needs a central, well, in nature, things have a central nervous system. So it's the spinal column.
Yeah. And distributed leadership doesn't mean that everyone's a leader and everybody follows, it really isn't. There is a central nervous system, and there is a brain, and there are eyes and ears, and all of that. And it's nature, one planetary body, and there is a central nervous system.
Incoherence.
It feeds into a coherent that feeds into the communication for the community of cells. Oh, we didn't want to stop. I don't think we were ready to stop. Hello, everyone. It looks like everyone beat us back even. So welcome back to the main room. We have about 7 minutes. So let's take about 5. If there's some shares that can be really concise. I know there's a lot to be harvested here. There's some really important pieces that were being pulled through in our group as well. So feel free to unmute yourself and share.
I think it's a wonderful idea that we have a marathon meeting or an extensive meeting, because one of my concerns is 2 minutes is not enough to get something done where we share ourselves. when I was in medical practice and psychiatry practice, and I worked in the prisons and with drug addicts, sometimes we had meetings that were 36 hours long. People say 36 hours long. Yes, when people meet and they have a chance to get really involved, they get skin in the game and get emotionally involved, as Nahid has so shared with us her powerful emotions, then that's when we come up with new ideas and things get done. So I just think it's a great idea, and I look forward to the idea of where people can not only come to complain, by the way, but also to share what is it that each of us has to offer to the greater whole. Because it's when we put our positives together, we do need, friction brings about change. Again, when I go back to Barbara, she said, it is crises that brings about change. As long as we pat each other on the back and tell each other how much we love one another, it feels good, but it doesn't change anything. It's when you disrupt something, that's when you come up with something new. So Linda, your Bucky Fuller's idea is absolutely correct. We do need to create something new. It's not just a matter of getting rid of the old. If you empty the garbage can, you just have an empty garbage can. we got to move forward. Thank you.
I'll jump in with something that, of course, it was just an amazing time together, and and in terms of the living presence and understanding, I mean, we did, really end up in this beautiful focal point of really choosing joy and being that lighthouse. But one of the biggest things for me was to really understand changing my perception, changing the perception of what chaos actually is. Because if we think of chaos as something horrible and terrible and it's out there and it's something I got to do something with, this understanding that if we really come to understand that that field of that intelligence of the field is always reorganizing into its highest potential, and that chaos is actually part of the natural reordering of the system itself, and we just be the lighthouse of love, of this frequency of love, then it abounds itself. It has to. There's nothing I have to fix, but I can act. I'm not saying about not action, but there's this really powerful thing in changing that relationship, that perception of what actually chaos really is. And I'm not going to say anything more than that. You can perturbate and marinate with that one, but it's a very powerful shift because it allows for what really wants to happen much more quickly, I believe.
Shelley, you just spoke to like the divine intelligence, and we were speaking some about how organisms, have a central nervous system. And what I just got when I was sitting here was like, right, and a lot of it we're speaking some of how from the brain out, and yet that central nervous system has nerve endings that bring things back into the brain for that. So I feel like that's some of where we're at. It's that the nerve endings are sending information and impulses back to be incorporated into the intelligence in that reordering.
One more share, maybe?
We had a conversation around pie and how 12 different people can make a pie, and we can share that pie with each other. And I have personally been in a practice and a prayer of humble pie and eating that humble pie. And how do we do it in a really beautiful way? With that, I feel complete. Blessed be.
I'm moving over to the Residence Lounge. Thank you, everyone. I'll be there if you want to join. I just want to say Thank you, Naheed, for opening the heart in the moment. We're always in it, whether we realize it or not. And on 11/11, these breakout rooms are so very important, and we can have an extended one to bring those nerve endings back into the whole. So yes, why do we wait? It's not a wait, it's a time for formation. And we will have that on 11/11, and we will join together. And I'm leaving. Goodbye. Thank you, everyone.
So thank you all for being a part of this. Gorgeous.
Could I ask quickly, because you had mentioned Greg Braden, and do you have a link for that for your show?
Yeah, it's on Empower Radio right now. If you go to empowerradio.com, it will be live right now. And then I'll post the link later this afternoon when the link comes out. So it'll be 15 minutes into the conversation here, but yeah, thank you.
Okay, wonderful. I just wanted to mention also that Greg Braden had said from an engineering perspective that when a system is very stable, nothing moves, nothing shifts, but when it goes into flux and it appears to be all chaotic, that's when the shift happens. And that's where it feels that we are really being called to be that focal point for what happens after that chaos is where we're focused on bringing that loving energy back into a higher coherence. So there you go.
So here's to coherence. Let's just spend a moment here sending our love and grounding the force of love for Sunrise Ranch, for all the residents there, for all of our friends there, and really holding just a beautiful veil of love and light and protection over the ranch and over the residents and all those who are affected by the fires. Trusting nature and protecting our loved ones, beloveds. So much love to you all. We'll see you right back here next week. We'll see you in the connection field. Hop on over there. John will be there. Love you all. Bye for now.